Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of
We,
Dave and Dave.
we made it.
We haven't been shut down yet, so we want to welcome everyone and all the fellow crack addicts out there. Oh, segue into our top story today of Joe Biden's crack pipe program. And in case you haven't been following the news and living under a rock somewhere, Joe Biden has decided to spend $30 million on providing free crack pipes for in an effort to promote diversity and equity. This is in the beginning of Black History Month, and yeah, so it's a smoking kits, they call it, quote unquote, smoking kits, and it will include even it's a kit. You can also test your heroin for fentanyl. So if you're concerned about your heroin and you don't have any crack pipes because they broke or cracked and you want to smoke your heroin and crack safely, just, I don't know, what is it, freecrackpipes.gov or
I thought it was just joebiden.gov.
yeah, probably Joe
I,
Biden.
I thought it was just a link through.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the website. I mean, healthcare.gov works so well. I got my free COVID tests made in China. But yeah, they seriously, they are giving away free crack pipes. Now they say it is because not just to give away free crack pipes. Now, come on, it's to promote safe drug usage.
Yes. Well, it's
promote.
But with the safe drug use, it's I think they put it under the social equality or equality blanket something,
because
because
part of the no, it's not part of Build Back Better because that didn't. Is it the infrastructure bill?
is it the Smoke Crack Better campaign?
No, Build Crack Better.
Crack Better?
Build Crack Better. Yeah, not Build Back. Build Crack Better. Too many people were getting cut and infections on their crack pipes. So Joe Biden took it upon himself to make sure this was not going to happen to you in your neighborhood and provided you with a fresh, clean crack pipe.
Fresh crack.
Fresh crack pipe.
Pipe. Not the crack, just pipe.
Just the pipe. Well, they're giving you the test kit for fentanyl. Do you know that 40% of all the crack out there has fentanyl in it? Like, lethal dose of fentanyl?
That's not good.
Scary. My question is, why aren't 40% of all the drug users just falling over dead? You think? I mean, that's scary. Scary as hell. I mean, it doesn't take much fentanyl at all.
No.
But they're giving you a safe space to use your new crack pipe as well. So they're controlled drug usage sites to this just sounds like an Onion article or something. Or
I recall a year ago or 2 years ago, somewhere up in Canada, I know they were setting up tents with like versus.
It was LA.
I think
I do believe it was LA.
They did it in LA also. I remember it definitely being in Canada.
Was it? Yeah, I know. Yeah, they had those the safe.
The safe shoot 'em up
doctors on site and all the what's the
like EMS and
everybody, to bring you back from the dead if you needed to be.
Oh, the Narcan.
Yeah, free Narcan. But insulin though is skyrocketed. Everybody says that you cap insulin. Trump had capped insulin, but Joe Biden rescinded that executive order on day one. So that's kind of a little
that's nice
gaslighting thing. Yeah, it was.
Not nice.
But instead of insulin, you just get a crack pipe. I'm waiting for the crack pipe buyback program so I can get rid of mine. But you can't have ivermectin, but you can have a crack pipe. So and the funny part is Snopes got in on this.
Yeah.
And Snopes says, okay, the question was, is Biden admin funding the distribution of crack pipes? And Snopes says mostly false.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Why?
He's also giving out syringes in addition to crack pipes.
But why?
because it's giving out syringes too.
Yeah. So it's a mostly false
They didn't mention
article.
the syringes.
Yeah.
It's mostly false because they're also giving out syringes.
So Snopes was
I
right.
mean,
Come on.
well, yeah. I mean, they
They
weren't,
omitted 50% of the information. Come on.
right. You know,
Is there a
the
Snopes
dog,
for Snopes? Like,
the cat, the what are they? These are just distraction bullshit things that they're trying to do. I mean, it's just the stupidest crap you could be. It's focusing on so many better things right now, but yet you're. It's like, this is the way I say. I swear, there's. I might have said this last week, but I swear to God, is a group of progressives in the White House that hate Joe Biden, and they hate Donald Trump, and they hate the government. Period. And they're these young millennial, probably younger than millennial, just these really, really strong progressives. And they're like, watch this, we're going to fuck up the government. Because these old farts, they're not even going to know what the hell we're doing. So on 4th of July, they said, hey, let's put a tweet that you're going to save 14 cents this year on your average 4th of July barbecue. And let's tell them this is a good idea. So they do.
that's what it was.
And they put it out. You know, they're like, it's a troll from the inside. The guy that runs the POTUS and White House Twitter account is trolling POTUS and the White House. And the old guy's going, 14 cents, that sounds like a great deal. You know, because back when he had 14 cents, you know, back in 1922, 14 cents was like saving $50, you know, but
It's like 2 gallons of gas, right?
you got to think that you got to wonder is who's trolling the White House from inside. Who's giving them these marketing things and going, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's run that tweet.
I think what we had touched on last week was, just tech gurus or people in 4chan, it's like coming up with something stupid. Well, I think it's the same. I think you're right. There might be something of just like, let's see if we can get away with this.
Because if you're so out of touch and you're so old and you've been in the political life, you've never gone grocery shopping. You can't tell me Joe Biden has really ever gone grocery shopping in the last 40 years, let alone driven a vehicle. Has no idea the price of anything. I mean, and what's her name? So calls it a gasoline station. Do you say them at a gasoline station? I mean, I'm surprised nobody got on her gasoline station. Who calls it a gasoline station? Nobody calls it a gasoline station. I mean, you just gotta.
Go to the local.
These people are. Stop electing old people. Jesus, both sides. Both sides.
Well, and stop letting people become so old. There shouldn't be unlimited terms. Like
Nancy Pelosi is going for 19. So Nancy Pelosi, she is agreeing to limit stock trading on Congress. So she's jumping on. Yeah, she said yes. She says, okay, fine. We'll limit stock trading on Congress if the judiciary branch also does it, because there's no checks and balances on them, the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court gets to trade stocks. If I can't trade stocks, the Supreme Court, and it should be government wide. But I'm all for it if it's government wide. So basically, she's saying, I want everybody in the government to do it, which essentially she's saying it'll never freaking happen because there'll be so much red tape involved and so many meetings and so many committees and so much this and that. She'll be dead by the time it goes through.
Right.
It won't matter. You know, she's worth $300 million now.
I mean,
300 million.
The pension system through Congress is just amazing, right?
She's still in Congress.
Well, I mean,
yeah, $174,000 a year with, and she lives
not
in
the
a
pension
mansion.
system, just
multiple
the pay. The pay in Congress. That's They pay about $20 million a year, right? No.
Yeah, you figure. The amount of stocks that woman has bought and sold on her time at just the right time, and the whole, that MasterCard Visa whole scam, got in at the right time, sold 3 times the amount a week later.
So you speak of stock trading, and I remember a report, and saying that this was actual. I just remember a report coming out, and it was about Fauci making a phone call to his wife saying something about buying Pfizer stock in the halls of Congress, before the release. Like the next day, Trump came out and said Pfizer was going to be one of the main ones or whatever. Like, I remember
Oh, I
reading this
missed that one.
report way back. So I'm not saying it's actual fact, but I just remember reading it.
Hmm.
And it just sprung to mind that I was flipping through, what to watch or whatever. I think on Nat Geo or something. And I had no idea that apparently there's a documentary called Fauci.
Really?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, Woke Nation. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if I
Well,
can
he's the
sit.
highest paid public servant we
I
have.
just don't know if I can sit through and watch the entire thing. But
Right. I'm with you.
there, apparently, there's a documentary, and it is self-titled Fauci. Fauci with a
Did he do it?
I don't know. All I seen was the picture, and it's just a picture of him, looking all
Because I could. Does he look? Because I could see him doing it with like the
well.
Saint Fauci candle
Yeah,
and the canvas painting of
of
himself
course
in his office.
they take a picture of him, and he looks all stoic, like he's saving the world.
Oh God.
You know, I
Thank you,
don't
Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci.
know.
We love you, Dr. Fauci.
He's the best.
Idiot.
Yeah. What were we?
But
Oh, just from last week. Pull up the picture. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. It was that one of the basket. The mask. The one with it.
the mask basket.
The mask basket. Like a pile of apples. Ones that were all open in the.
Oh, yeah. At the grocery store.
Yep.
Did you find any?
No, I found the picture. So it's up right
Or
now.
mask basket?
The mask.
Oh,
basket.
yeah. That's the government's free masks for those that didn't catch last week's.
Free masks that way. Go get them.
That's the government's way of saving us from COVID and giving out free masks, putting them within children's hand reach. And you know how clean children keep their hands, especially small children, toddler age. Very clean little individuals they are. People cough, sneeze, breathe anywhere near that whole rack. And, well, you figure it out. Let's give you N95 masks. Make sure they're high quality masks that are open to the public to breathe on, sneeze on, touch. However, I do know a lot of people that do like woodworking and stuff that never have to buy another mask again as long as they live.
Hey, that's
They're
actually
pretty much capitalized on that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. You see some people that are getting free masks. I mean, I wouldn't trust it to save me from COVID, but
hey, it definitely helps in the wood shop though. I can attest.
I still don't know about putting anything on my face that unless I physically took it out of the box, but still, you're coming from China, I'm sure, and it's unsealed. You hear they're testing the wastewater for COVID? Waste treatment plants are being tested for COVID to see if there's COVID in neighborhoods.
Oh, I had not
Yeah,
heard
they're going
that.
to put little COVID detectors in your sewage system now, so they'll know when you have COVID. Yeah. The weakest, like, virus. I'm serious. They are doing this. Look it up. Google it. You know how to Google? I mean, it's just a Google search. I mean, everybody can Google search.
Yeah, Google, bro.
You just go to Kinko's and make a copy. But not everyone's got a Kinko's who knows how to Kinko.
You ever actually been to a Kinko's?
No.
I've been to like Office
FedEx
Depot, Office Max.
Like one of the original ones. Anyway, but I digress. But now they're testing wastewater because they have certain areas now they're saying they have more COVID than others. But I'm wondering how the virus lives in the wastewater with any type of treatment or bleaches or any type of anything. Because, I mean, it's a very weak virus outside of the body. I mean, anything kills it. Hand soap kills it. how does it survive down in the? I mean, I just
Do the rats
I
have
don't know.
COVID?
I don't know, but I'm waiting for the COVID tests for our animals coming out anytime soon. COVID tests for dogs.gov.
Uh,
You can link to it from crackpipes.gov.
with every dog COVID test, you get a free crack pipe. Just throwing them out there.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't like the State of the Union? Just smoke crack. Everything will be great. Just.
This is why he's doing it. Yeah. So who knows where they are? I mean, how do you get it? How do you get your free crack pipe?
If they
how do you get these smoking kits?
Just federally legalize marijuana and everybody will always be happy. I mean, there you go.
Like, what company is making them? Because I got to buy stock. I don't want to miss out on that, like Moderna and Pfizer. I missed out on the last stock run. I want to know who's making them.
Well, this is what you do. Go to Superb Video. Ask them who the manufacturer of their tobacco pipes are. Who supplies them?
Oh. And what is Superb Video Day for those people that are from out of town?
Adult store where you also purchase tobacco smoking products.
Yes, tobacco smoking products. Very good.
Smoking devices. Not the product, the device.
Depends on who's working.
Probably anybody.
So inflation went up to 7.5% today.
Bing.
So basically, if you didn't get a raise at your job of at least 8% this year, you just got a tax hike. Because it's a tax. Inflation is at 7.5%. That's like the cost of your money there. 7.5%. And that's actually low on a lot of other products. A lot of cars, used cars are up 40%.
I actually did just for shits and giggles. I did the you ever see the ads for Vroom?
Yes.
Yeah. So I punched my
sell
car in.
Car
yeah, to like sell your car or whatever. I punched my vehicle in, and the number that came back, absolutely astounding to me. Because it was more than what I paid for it.
Did you sell it?
Oh.
Why?
If a car that I bought 3 years ago is now all of a sudden worth more than when I
it's
bought
free money.
it, sure, but I need to find a vehicle to use. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So
that could be the problem.
It's trying to find a vehicle. That's why the prices are up so high.
So really, even though you're making more on your used vehicle, you're buying a used vehicle for more.
It's the same as the housing market.
Inflation.
Yeah. It's the same as the
not
housing market.
Oh my God, used cars are worth so much. Yeah, let's sell my used car. You got to buy another car. So, I mean, if you're going to sell it, like I sold my Excursion, got a good price on that a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't in the market to buy anything else. I did good. But if you want to, like you're saying, you want to buy another car, you have to buy another car from somebody else at that inflated price as well.
Yep.
So it's not like a good thing that your used vehicle is worth so much. You're getting less for your money.
It truly means something's wrong in the economy.
Right. You used to be able to get, so your vehicle was 10,000. You go buy a new one for 20,000. You got a $10,000 difference. You put 10,000 in your pocket. So now you got a $20,000 value. Now your new car's 40,000. Now you got to come up with 20,000. So truly, there's something wrong there.
It's just like the housing market. Everyone's all excited, like, oh, my house is $75,000 more than what I paid for it. It's like, sure, now go ahead, sell your house, take the 75 or 100K that you're about to get, and what with it? You're gonna buy a smaller house.
Yep.
And pay way more.
Your interest rates are going to be higher. Those are higher now. And the thing I see people doing, in which I got to tell you, people, I'm not a financial analyst or an accountant or anything like that. But if your realtor or your banker calls you and tells you you have $75,000 equity in your home because the value of your home just went up $75,000, don't take out a damn home equity loan right now. Don't take that money out. Because with this, what's going on right now is you're taking that inflation out. So you're taking that extra money out of the value of the home that could or could not be there next year.
Mhm.
So what could happen is the value of that home could drop. You don't know. I mean, look how fast it went up. Look how fast it could go down.
Below
The interest
2008.
rates, and let's say, yeah, the 2008 housing crash. People in my neighborhood, almost half the neighborhood was foreclosed on
Mm-hmm.
because of that. They bought houses beyond their means. Then the payments went up. They bought adjustable rate mortgages. Interest rates skyrocketed. Payments skyrocketed. Values plummeted. And everybody was stuck with, they paid 300,000 for the house. The house is only worth 200, and they owed 350 because they took out equity loans. They were $150,000 upside down in the house. They took the foreclosure, and now you're screwed. So if you bought a $150,000 house, they're saying it's worth 225 now. You take that 75,000, which they'll try to get more out of you. They'll try to give you 100. So you're at 120%, or give you 100 or 250, they give you 125% of loan to value. You take that out, you do something to the house, you increase the value, you go buy a car, you do whatever. Property values drop back to somewhere where they used to be. Interest rates don't go back down that fast. And now you're screwed. You're stuck there forever. You're upside down. Your payment goes up. Your income is not going up to meet that. And it's a nightmare, and you end up getting screwed. So take my advice, leave the equity in your home. Just leave it. Because if it doesn't go down and things go well, and you all of a sudden get a raise, you're in a great position when it comes time to sell and buy something else down the road. But leave that equity. That's my preaching for the night.
Just for the night? You're a liar.
No, well, no, I see somebody that does this stuff. They take every dollar they can find and they buy shit. And I know somebody used to do that. Don't do that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Inflation, good things, good stuff. So, yeah, you just get less for your money. Things cost more. Everything out there costs more. And people are like, oh, the Democrat talking point, like from the White House, is the economy's doing good when you're paying more for gas. Yeah, they actually said that.
Ooh.
Well, when you're paying more for gas, the economy's doing well, because this is the Democrats' version of supply and demand. You're coming out of a pandemic, so the supply, or the demand is greater, so the price goes up. And that's a good thing because people are spending money. Yeah.
I can understand some logic. Yes, it's like if everyone's stuck at home a lot, for the last 2 years, and now they feel that they can go travel, that would mean people traveling, but I'm almost positive that travel numbers, say this year, or say for Christmas, were nowhere near 4 years ago.
No, and you gotta look at the, what am I saying here? The prices of everything. When you have a high demand,
Prices
you can
generally go up.
inflate the prices, yes, but the value of the money usually stays steady.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the value of the money is dropping like crazy with inflation. You're not getting as much for the money. And just because they say more people are traveling or more people are driving around doesn't necessarily equate to charging more for gas. Now, you look at Trump, we were a net exporter. We were exporting more than we were importing.
Yep.
Of oil. So it was domestic oil, domestic fuel. Now Joe Biden there has to go to OPEC and go to the foreign countries and say, you need to pump more and import more to the US because I shut everything down here. So they're like, all right, we can do that, but we're going to charge you more. So now that the demand is higher of fuel, the price is going to go up. and it shouldn't go up as much as it's going up, but it's going up because now you've got foreign countries that we're dependent on, aka Russia, for oil that normally we wouldn't be, so we wouldn't be paying as much, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So the supply and demand theory in a sense works, but it also it's not an apples and oranges comparison, or apples to apples, when you compare Biden to Trump. Trump
No.
was pulling domestic, Biden's pulling international oil, which is going to cost more, and they're going to rape them.
Also slightly different when you choose to disrupt the supply chain on your own.
Purposely on day one.
Purposely, yes.
Yeah. Speaking of supply chain, you think how fragile the supply chain is. We all know that. We've signed toilet paper, et cetera, et cetera. And you think after all the lockdowns and everything, and the government destroying the supply chain, they're destroying everything in the economy. Now they're all worried about Truckistan and Canada. The Canada truckers have now realized, okay, Justin Trudeau, who thinks that they're Confederate, flag waving, Nazi flag. There was one Nazi flag. He was shut down instantly. There was one Confederate flag, and they were shut down instantly. And by the way, there was no Confederacy in Canada, so that really doesn't work very well.
Yeah, it's kind of a U.S. thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a U.S. thing, not a Canada thing. But he's trying to make it look like it's all a bunch of U.S. people and non-citizens up there. So anyway, he's so far into this thing, he doesn't know how to get out of it with any sense of pride left whatsoever. I mean, they've got him locked down. All the other provinces around are like, you know what, dude, just get rid of the vaccine mandates. Nobody's anti-vax. They're anti-vaccine mandate.
Yep.
They want the freedom to choose. 90% of the truckers are vaccinated anyway. The vaccine is not the issue. It's the mandate. The guys that carried our supply chain through this entire pandemic, who you all stood on the side of the road and went hero, hero, hero as they drove your supplies and your toilet paper to and from these stores, you now are condemning as terrorists because you won't let them cross the border unless they are vaccine, have a vaccine, which 90% of them do, right. But they're looking out for everybody else. They're fighting for everybody else, the people that don't want to, the people that can't get vaccinated. They're like, what do you mean? We can't leave the country unless we're vaccinated? You can't enter or leave the country? U.S. citizens can't enter the country unless we're vaccinated, I do believe.
No, you cannot, well.
Or you have to test negative or whatever.
Well, I do know this. Like, I do know for a U.S. citizen to go into Canada, you have to be vaccinated.
Right.
You have to show a thing for
but
that.
To come the other way, you either have to be vaccinated or show a negative test or something.
I'm sure it's like a negative test within 72 or 24 hours or something like that.
But you can hop, skip, and jump across the southern border, and you get a free plane ticket to the state of your choosing.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't count.
But it's all women and children that look like young men. It's amazing. But anyway, as far as the supply chain goes, these truckers have like, you know what? We're going to stand up for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
They've literally crippled the supply chain. They were in downtown Ottawa, Ottawa, however you're going to pronounce it. It is actually technically pronounced Ottawa, but everybody pronounces it is. Huh. Ottawa. Look it up. It's Ottawa. Ottawa. Ottawa.
All right.
They've been down there for a couple weeks now. The police are taking their fuel. Now they're taking their firewood. They're trying to freeze them out. They're trying to discourage this in any way possible. Justin Trudeau is calling them racist, calling them Nazis, calling them white supremacists, calling them every single name in the book.
Right.
There's every single color person up there, and they're all on the same side. So they decided to find the, which they know because they're the truckers, the artery between, Canada and the U.S. have very few access points. And the one major one is the Ambassador Bridge.
I just had a picture up for that.
Okay. The Ambassador Bridge is it's a suspension bridge across the Detroit River. It connects Detroit, Michigan with Windsor, Ontario. Now, 25% of all commerce between Canada and the United States goes across this bridge. So, I mean, Tucker Carlson had a good analogy on his show tonight. Take the ports of, or excuse me, 25% of the United States commerce. Take the port of LA. Remember all those shipping containers and all that stuff that was stacked in there? Half of that comes over that bridge every day. So to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars a day in stuff. And my first question was, do I go buy toilet paper now? Should we? But anyway, don't.
No.
Leave it alone. There's a lot of lumber up there. Some lumber and trees, you know.
I was about to say, if anything, you like, we saw the price. Oh no. That's like
in Canada. Yep. We're screwed.
Like the price of wood is starting to come back down.
Anymore.
A 2x4, I remember, costs be like $2. And then it went up to, oh man, we're paying almost $9 for a 2x4.
Oh.
2x4 by 8. $9. A sheet of plywood. Just, I don't know, like, I think it was 1/2 inch OSB. It's just that cheap strand stuff. It was $46 for one sheet, a 4x8 sheet. God. I was like, we're talking like $7 a sheet 3 years ago. Yeah. So, and I know a lot of our lumber comes from Canada.
Yeah.
So be prepared. You know, if this, if this stands strong,
Toyota
it's going to be
halted vehicle production.
Who's that?
In their plants, Toyota.
Okay.
Toyota's halted vehicle production. GM has already canceled shifts for the next 3 days, the rest of the week. I think Ford as well. They can't get the parts. And this has only been for 3 days?
Yeah.
We had this bridge shut down. So in 3 days, they're starting to cripple the economy already. And that's how often parts come across and how often these plants are replenished with supplies. And this goes both ways. And a large part of the fresh produce and food to Canada comes from the United States across that bridge. So they're suffering on that end. But now, Justin Trudeau is trying to declare states of emergency. Now they're trying to, everything's shy of throwing the military at him.
Yeah.
They're trying to get Joe Biden involved because they're talking about now driving from Southern California to DC starting March 5th. We're going to do our own United States trucker convoy.
Yep.
But I think it's all going to be over at the State of Union address on March 1st anyway, because it's an election year. So COVID's mysteriously disappearing, according to 5-6 Democrat states already have lifted all restrictions. All mask mandates, all restrictions gone. Overnight, everyone's just turned the corner. As soon as Stacey Abrams, which I know you have that picture.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's favorite, Georgia, you are not the fucking governor, Abrams.
There she is.
Still has not conceded the governor race, but if you question any election, you are a racist, sexist, homophobic,
xenophobic,
transgender-phobic, I don't know, whatever. You're a very, very bad person.
You're someone,
and it's a threat to our democracy.
You're someone that uses yellow emoji thumbs up.
I'm sorry. Yes, I use the yellow emoji for the thumbs up. I'm sorry. I am afraid to exert my white privilege, so I still use the yellow emoji because I don't want to.
You sent me that. You sent me that text, and I just sent a thumbs up back.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I'm like, oh, you fucking fine. But I'm serious. Who the hell is that color? Who is any color on those things? I'm not that color. It's like off coffee. It's like Band-Aids. Who's Really, flesh-colored Band-Aids. You know anybody that color? I don't know anybody that color. And then of course, I understand you put one of those colors on a black person, a black skinned, dark skinned person, it kind of stands out.
Yep.
But I'm sorry, those Band-Aids were not made for white people either. I don't know who they were made for, but ain't nobody that color. Just ain't having it. But anyway, our everyone's favorite, you're not the governor, Stacey Abrams of Georgia, decided to go do a speech in front of this elementary school class, and thought it'd be a really good political move to take a picture with the class, entirely masked, but her. Now, not one picture, but multiple pictures. There are multiple pictures around the internet out there. Plus, she did her speech.
She held her breath a lot.
But she did, yeah. She was holding her breath. She, took her cue from Garcetti. But she was holding her breath. Not sure. I'm not even going to go there with that. Okay, nah. That's mean. Whistle while you work. Never mind. So she immediately comes out. She gets, of course, it was one of the teachers or something that sent the tweet out with this photo.
Yep.
And thank you very much for coming. It was so great, blah, blah, blah. And then Stacey Abrams' campaign retweets it. And all of a sudden, somebody realizes this is not a good look. Deletes it all. Well, the internet is forever.
Internet wins.
And this, oh my God, this image has been around more, I think, than, I don't know, Miss Kitty in a John Wayne movie. You ever watch John Wayne?
You
What?
like old John Wayne movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, not many. I don't know. It's all right. Miss
Kitty. She runs the brothel.
Okay. I believe.
Okay. Anyway. So she thinks it'd be a good idea to come out. Now, of course, every GOP member comes out and goes, oh, look, hypocrite, well, whatever. So she said that I'm only unmasked because I made sure everybody around me was fully masked. Oh, so you're exerting your privilege and making sure everyone else has a mask on, but you. Well, how dare you attack me at the beginning of Black History Month? Oh, so now it's about race. So we're attacking you because you're Black and you're doing a reading in a Black History Month. Well, this is just horrible. And everyone's like, this is front and center for every campaign ad for the GOP going forward. I mean, this is.
You did it to yourself.
How many others that same day got, the same thing? You've got 5 adults and then you've got 5 children. The adults no mask, the children are masked. It's like, come on. Over and over and over again, all day long. So she comes out yelling and threatening, well, how dare you attack me? And blah, 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 blah. So what did she do yesterday? She comes out and she goes, I see the error of my ways. I apologize. I should have been masked. I blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you should have done that first. Right. This probably would have been a non-issue.
Right.
But because you threw everybody under the bus, called them all racist for calling you out for not having a mask on when you're like supposed to be the up and coming next, president of the earth, you're an idiot. So what happens 24 hours later? I don't know if it was timing with this or if it's timing with what else, but all these Democrat states all of a sudden go, yeah, you know what? Screw those mask mandates. We don't need those anymore. CDC's going, no, wait. And the White House is like, no, hold on. We need those. And the Democrats are like, no more. We're done. That's it. It's over.
I think they're just sick of getting called out on it. I mean,
how many times over the last 48 or 72 hours have they gotten called out?
There's another adult that got caught. I'm about to put his picture up. If you're watching, you might recognize this fella.
That guy.
He's
the photoshopped one.
Oh, that's photoshopped?
That former president guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people claiming that's photoshopped.
Oh.
But there's like a series of 5 photos of him looking very, very upset that his photo was being taken.
But for those that are just listening,
the peasants have to be masked.
I'll paint the picture here for those just listening. It is a former president. Um, we'll call him Barack Obama. Um, and he is appears to be with some construction workers, probably something on like his house or something. I don't know.
Why?
Everyone is masked. You know, all the hard laborers, except for him. You know, wearing his fancy little polo and khakis and his boat shoes. But he's unmasked and very, very unhappy in the very unhappy that that he got caught.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're exactly right there. These Democrats aren't sorry they did it; they're sorry they got caught.
mhm.
And got Obama that does this. The peons, you peasants, you wear a mask around me. I'm not going to wear one, but you wear one around me. And I'm sorry, with this whole, I mean, he's got this whole seawall issue now with it's eroding the beach lines. This whole climate change thing would be so much more believable if these guys would stop buying oceanfront property and then in the next breath tell us that half the world's going to be underwater in 10 years.
you,
So you're
you you make a really good point there. I never thought of that.
I
You know,
mean,
they
Martha's Vineyard,
yeah
oh, let's buy that oceanfront property. Wait a minute, you're telling me this whole East Coast is going to be underwater in 10 years.
yeah they
So
say it's
now
going
you
to
get this
raise.
Hawaii stuff. You're only 10 feet above sea level here, for God's sake. But they're telling us if the polar ice caps melt, we're going under 20 feet. Not really, if you think about the whole physics of it. It's not, ice cube melts in glass, water level does not rise. Oh. But anyway, they need to stop buying oceanfront property. They should be giving this away to charity because they know it's going to be worthless in 10 years. It's just going to be underwater.
Give
Right?
it, I don't know, give it to the
To
crackheads.
me. Give it to the crackheads.
Why
Crack pipe,
not?
crack pipe distribution centers.
At Martha's Vineyard.
Right. Or do
I
the safe injection
think
sites there.
I think
I mean,
that's
it'll be
where we
underwater
should. I
anyway.
think that's where we should post the first crack pipe distribution center, right there, Martha's Vineyard.
At
And
the end of his driveway.
let's see how gung ho they are about keeping that program in place. Here's a here's a little thing that really irritates me. They push these, or they make these programs, and they say that they're for, racial equality or social equality, this, that, the other. And the only reason it's in my head is I just read an article about solar power and how there is a arm of the um, NAACP that is working to get solar power equal in, racial equality and solar power, because apparently there's racial disparity in who can get solar power and who can't. It was a very tough read. I read it.
Does the sun discriminate now? Is the sun racist? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Um
yellow, that's why.
no,
It's
so
yellow.
it it went it just went into like, even they even stated, if you took the economic disparity out of the equation, there's still a racial disparity of minorities not being able to get solar power the same as everyone else. And the first, like, in me just using my little brain that I got here, I was like, okay, if your focus is like in densely populated areas, let's say high-rise buildings, maybe, yes, you have a ton of people packed into one building. The footprint of the roof, it ain't that big. So you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
In a densely populated area, of course you're going to have less people that have solar power because there's just less space for solar power to be of anything.
Good point. Yeah, like New York.
A 100-story building, unless every window is made of solar panes that you can see through, then it's not happening.
Why not just use old Tesla batteries?
Uh, I don't know.
That's the recycling for Tesla batteries now. Yeah. They're using for solar.
Just use them for solar.
And you have a very good point. Yeah, it's a good point. The majority of, you get lower income. They're stacked in an apartment complex. Your roof space is not enough.
Right.
Because you need how many acres to power a town? How
Well,
many acres of solar panels would you need to power New York City? How many actually square miles of solar panels would you need to power New York City?
I mean, put it this way, as far as my understanding, like let's say a standard 2-story house, if you were to have basically your roof covered in the right environment,
Still wouldn't do it.
you'd be at, I want to say it's somewhere around like 70 or 75%. You'd still rely on grid, but you would cut your
That's
stuff
in
way
the right
down.
perfect condition.
That's
Arizona.
That's like ideal. Like
Sun every day and direct sunlight.
no clouds.
Or tracking panels or something that track the sun.
Right.
Track with it.
Yeah. Mm.
I don't know, but they're going to install these Tesla or electric car chargers. They just put like how many billions of dollars. Some company just got this huge contract to install these things across the country. But I don't see it happening. The grid itself cannot sustain this.
That's
Somebody tried to tell me earlier on Twitter, and I got blocked. Go figure. Yeah, I know that electric cars. And somebody was asking, well, what's the maintenance on these things? And they go, well, aside from tires and windshield wipers, there is none. And I'm like, so
it's the greatest mechanical
device.
Yeah.
There's no suspension. There's no transmission. There's no electrical components in this thing. Oh my God. I had an RV, one of the newer ones, the big bus ones.
Yeah.
There was miles and miles and miles of wiring. I had more problems in that thing than I had in my 1972 Winnebago, which had a stereo and 3 battery powered lights. The more wires you have, the more susceptible you are to electronic failure. But this guy, it was just tires and wipers. That's the only thing that could go wrong. Apparently, you've never owned a car before.
Everything else rides on like magnet cushions.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just tires and wipers is the only thing the guy said there was to maintain. So we started naming off every single component of an electric car. We're like, all right, well, what about the electronics? What about the stereo? What about the LED panels? What about the Wi-Fi? What about the internet? What about the routers? What about the speedometer? What about the suspension? Yep. You got a smooth ride, right? Or you're riding on blocks. Blocked. It's like, fuck. It's getting good.
Well,
there's more to these things than people think. And so a lot of them times it costs more fuel to make the damn thing. And then they're like, what about mining the lithium for the batteries? Yeah, and you get into all that crap. And then disposal. And they go, well, they recycle them. Well, the companies figured out how to extend the life of a battery, because on a battery for a Tesla, you can only use it at a certain point. You know, you can't use it till there's only has to be able to drive the car a reasonable distance. But you can use it and retrofit. The guy retrofitted it to power his house, which is great as a battery backup.
Yep.
So it charges it enough to, if your power goes out, you can power your house off the thing for a little while. And you can recharge it with it. Yeah. I mean, what are you really powering?
I was gonna say a quick side note, like, and the cost associated with like replacing the battery in the vehicle. I know somebody that had one of the Camry hybrids, and they had it for years, and the it came up for, like, the battery was taking a dump. It was over, end of life, right? So they took it in, and they're like, the car's still running great. We just want to replace the battery. And basically, the cost to replace that battery like an extra $2,000 got them a brand new car, a brand new hybrid car. So
Yeah, it's almost cheaper to swap it.
they just got a brand new one. So it's like,
And what did they do with the old one?
uh, who knows?
You know,
It
it's
went
in a
somewhere.
landfill somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool
And
that he was able to, somebody was able to figure out a way to use
yeah,
that. That's cool.
he's an engineer. He did it himself for his own home, but he said it took him about a year to modify this whole battery setup to do this. Now there's another one. I think some town took them and they're stacking them and making this whole backup battery bank for this tiny little town. But it took, containers and containers
Yeah.
full of these batteries to use as a battery backup for this tiny little town out in the middle of nowhere. Which, okay, they started doing this after the whole Texas grid thing went down. So they're using these batteries for the backups for that.
Mm-hmm.
Batteries aren't going to last forever either doing that. Even sitting there on a trickle charge, just keeping them going, they're going to die out. You're still going to have to get rid of these things somewhere.
And
you're still going to have, you'll have an endless supply of slightly used batteries, I guess. That'll never run out. But what do you do when you're done with them?
I guess there's also like like lithium batteries are inherently more dangerous too. I'm not saying like all lithium batteries are poised to explode, but we all seen the Galaxy Note 2, 3 fiasco, or the Samsung, whatever it was. Exploding batteries and everything. A lithium battery, I believe, is just more dangerous if it were to catch fire or whatever. I could be wrong, but pretty sure I'm right.
Well, I was reading today, came across a new concept. They have a wireless charging cars.
Okay.
So, and it looks like Michigan plans to do this.
Is it going to be something in the roadway?
Yeah.
Like straight from like science fair or the World Fair of like 1929? I remember seeing something about that.
and you'll drive down the road, and as you're driving, it charges your car. However,
great concept.
It's a $3,000 upgrade to get this.
Okay.
And you still got to pay for the electricity. A $3,000 upgrade. It's like a house I used to live in. We went to get, electric bills sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to, okay, let's look at replacing the windows. The guy comes, does an estimate, $50,000 to replace the windows. The guy's like, you will save so much energy on this. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, me, my kids, my kids' kids, my kids' kids' kids, 14 generations down the road is never going to pay for these windows.
No.
I'm never going to save that much money on my energy bill that's going to make these windows worth spending $50,000. No, thank you.
No.
It's the same thing with this. How far do you go with this shit?
It's also
$3,000 to wirelessly charge. Okay, who's putting that infrastructure in from coast to coast? So you can literally drive the car nonstop. Is that what they're saying? I don't know. But for $3,000,
with that, like that aspect, I could see of giving you a longer trip time.
Yeah,
I could understand that. Like if you could potentially drive coast to coast nonstop, ever having to stop, like it also $3,000 also comes with like little toilet upgrades, so you can
right.
You're on the go. You're on the go.
Never stop.
But like I could totally understand that, but no, and you have to, and you got to pay for the electricity anyway.
You're redoing the road.
Yeah,
you're redoing the interstate system from here to every interstate system. It's not just laying a cable.
No,
there's got to be some sort of mesh something. And oh my God, what are the long-term effects of that? It's like laying on a giant wireless phone charger. Think about it. Let's turn your bed into a wireless phone charger and lay in it.
can they crank it up just a hair when it starts to snow so it doesn't ice over? Could there be like an extra use?
Dude, I'm not going anywhere near that road if the snow melts and it hits it. That's funny. I looked up. My dog's afraid to go down the steps when it snows. One of them, and she'll stand there and look at you. You have to pick her up and carry her down there 5 steps. So I looked up those little heated mats. Now the little heated mats for stairs, $89 a stair.
Yep.
Just for a little heated mat. I cannot imagine the infrastructure cost to go coast to coast on one interstate system.
With Biden bucks? 4
They'll just
trillion.
print more money. They'll just print more.
4 trillion.
Inflation will go up to 8.5%.
I gotcha.
I want to know the name of that company up front because I'm buying stock.
It's
getting in on one of these.
And what's really getting me is, and you say Detroit's doing this?
Looks like Michigan, somewhere in
Michigan.
Yeah,
somewhere in Michigan. Okay, so I find it funny because it just caters, or it shows that they're doing all this work and all this effort to cater to tiny segment.
Why are you not in San Francisco?
Tiny segment of the population. Even San Francisco. What is the percentage of fully, not hybrid, fully electric vehicle drivers in San Francisco?
Yeah.
I'll bet it's less than 5%.
How well is that going to work with snow on the ground?
It ain't.
What happens when the interstate cracks and shifts? I mean, it's got to be a wire mesh.
You mean like a normal road?
Yeah. I mean, you tell me one road that stayed consistent over the years, except for something that I take that back. You tell me one road that was built after 1990 that has stayed consistent.
Ooh.
1980.
Especially
those
not
cobblestone roads are still strong.
Especially not up north.
No, around here we can't keep a road from, dropping 2 feet and raising 3 feet. And that technology is decades away. I can see it being possible, but I think it's decades away, if not a century away.
But I guess the reason I say that, cater to such a small percentage, it's just like, certain groups or certain segments of the population where all of a sudden we have to cater to a very, very, very tiny percentage of the population. I don't know, bathrooms.
It's it's money. It's just money to the companies that are going to be building this infrastructure. Now, I travel now from Kenosha to Racine every day on the interstate. And you'd be surprised, every day I see at least one Tesla going to and from on the 7 miles I'm on the interstate, which tells me there's a lot of transient, probably coming from Highland Park area, Gurney area, the richer areas to Milwaukee to work.
Yep.
And then vice versa, they're going back at night. So they're traveling within their range of distance. They're staying within their charging range. This is the busiest one of the busiest interstate corridors, but it's not the place to put one of these charging roads because people are 45 minutes and 45 minutes. They're under their 200-mile limit for the entire trip.
Yep.
So they can charge at home, drive, charge at home, drive, or charge at work, drive. So where do you put these things? Across the desert? Where 5 Teslas may go? Because no one's going to take a Tesla on a cross-country trip, regardless. Even if I could charge it on the way, I don't think I want to take my Tesla.
That's a really good point, because I guess I could put an idea of a Tesla owner, and it's not somebody that drives 200 miles one way each day to go to work.
No.
That's not a Tesla owner.
No. They're short trips. Because you got to stay within that. That's why you can't buy a Tesla more than 200 miles away.
Right.
because they got to get it to you, and they drive it.
I think sometimes they truck them in on a gas powered truck and drop them off, which is just
Now that would
ironic as
just
all
be
hell.
silly. Yeah. But you ever go on Tesla's site and look, you can't buy anything more than 200 miles away.
Huh. Or is Tesla still not allowed to sell them?
I don't know.
I remember like there was something with it's something with the way dealerships run in Wisconsin, and Tesla was not allowed to sell in Wisconsin.
I don't know. There's a lot of them. I mean, I'd say a lot, but I mean, you see one Tesla, you've seen them all, but I see quite a few, but I don't, yeah, there's a use for them,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a long haul use.
I ain't gonna lie, like the that ad for that Ford Lightning,
The
it's
electric
just
one?
yeah, it just looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's the pickup
Yeah.
truck, especially when
Yep.
especially when he opens up the hood and it's a trunk. You know where the engine would be. It's a
Yeah.
trunk, and I'm like, man, is that cool? Like, would that be cool for a pickup truck? Like an actual place to put luggage.
Yeah,
Like, but it's
put
a
electric
pickup truck.
motor on mine. You ain't gonna do it. I got an F450 dually.
Oh.
Imagine plowing with an electric truck. Okay, now we're getting sidetracked, but you know, and done.
Done. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Tesla sucks. I mean, I don't know. It's something about having a computer monitor as your dashboard, and that's it. It's weird.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's fun to drive next to him, going, "Oh, look, the most fuel efficient vehicle in the world, next to the least fuel efficient vehicle in the world." And they laugh at me. They go, "Oh, yours sucks." I go, "Yeah, but without me, you're stuck in the ditch."
It's true.
I move your snow so you can drive your little electric car.
Um.
Look at who the guy who's following in my exact tire tracks on the interstate. Like little ducklings.
Yeah.
They follow me down the interstate. I got my big giant dually, and they're all like, I change lanes, they all change lanes. It's like, wait a minute, I thought you all hated me.
Yeah.
Now you can't get enough of me.
All right.
Oh, what else is going on?
I don't know. I could.
Well,
Got this one article. I'll put it up.
crack pipes.
That was just from the Blaze. This was from, and it was January 17, but 17th of 2022. It says Gallup poll finds a massive shift in political preference away from Democrats to Republicans. It's a really interesting article. This is, by the end of 2021, only 42% of Americans considered themselves Democrat, while 47% considered themselves Republicans. That is a 9% difference towards
Yeah,
the
I
red.
see a lot of that. It's and I think the fact that Joe Biden came out with all his promises for this election of, I'm going to forgive student debt, I'm going to make community college free, which they just backed out on that now too. There's no more free community college.
No.
His Medicare for all, and well, he made good on the crack pipes.
That wasn't a campaign promise, but damn, did he come through?
He sure did. He's gone too far to the left, way too far to the left. The typical Democrat is not that far to the left. Your typical Democrat is just left of center, really, and your typical Republican is just right of center, and you have your independents in the middle. Then you have your far right and your far left.
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats or the progressives and far left seem to think that anybody right of center is on the far right. It's QAnon and it's all that, wild conspiracy theory BS.
Yep.
That's not true. But since he's gone so far left, you've got all these progressive Dems like AOC in the squad keep pulling him left and keep pulling him left and keep pulling him left. And he does it for votes. He does it so he can get in with the cool kids or the cool crowd. And then once he gets in there, gets what he wants or gets the vote on the bill, which he says, okay, you vote for my bill, I'll give you this. He says, sucker, later, not going to do it.
Gotcha.
Typical politician. And again, like we talked about the other week, both sides do it. I mean, not just Democrats, Republicans do it as well. Brian Stile does it here locally. He just does nothing. But he keeps going far left. Now, these Democrats are like, I'm not that far left. I'm not that person. I don't want free college. I want people that, pay their bill that they agreed on. And I still don't understand what you get people, you forgive student loans. It's not forgiving anything. Someone's still got to pay for it, you idiots. Someone's still got to pay for it, and the taxpayer money pays for it.
Yep.
You give away all this money, you forgive all this debt, and people are like, well, I can now live. I can pay my rent. I can buy a house. I can do this. I can do that. Well, the problem is your professor told you'd make $150,000 a year stepping out of college. You don't. It doesn't happen that way. Give it 10 years. You'll work your way up to that. But you got to start out at $12, $15, $10 an hour. Get your foot in the door somewhere. Work your way up in the company. But that doesn't happen with progressives. They think, that they should automatically get everything for free. So they think, pay off my student loan debt so I can go and have money.
Yep.
Pay off my house payment, pay off my car payment, and I can have money.
I think
what's the difference between that $50,000 student loan debt and my $50,000 truck loan? What's the difference?
Well,
paying off either one is going to help us both, right?
Sure.
But why is student loan so special and my truck payment is not? Or $50,000 towards my mortgage?
I don't know. I know there's quite a few nations out there that do offer free college or university, as they would call it. But as we all know, it's not for everybody.
No.
Not everybody should go to college. Not everybody belongs in college. Hell, not everybody belongs in high school. I'll come out and say that. Like, there are trades, there are phenomenal trades that you don't even need a damn high school education. And you can make more than somebody that comes out with some liberal arts degree would ever dream of making.
I don't, being self-employed, I couldn't tell you the last time I even looked at the education spot on an application for anything, for high school diploma, even cared. I look at, do you know how you do it? Do you know how to do what I'm hiring you for? Do you have experience at all? Do you learn? Do you have common sense?
Right.
And these people that go, well, you have to have a college education. They tweet on their computer, you got to have a college education to succeed. Okay, they're tweeting this on a platform of a guy that never went to college that created it, on a computer created by a guy who never went to college or dropped out, and a whole society of people that never went to college. This whole tech industry dropped out of college.
Yep.
Every damn one of them.
Not everyone
completed college.
But
which one did?
A damn vast majority. You know what I mean?
Bill Gates dropped out of college. Jeff Bezos dropped out of college. Zuckerberg dropped out of college. Elon Musk, he never finished, did he?
Oh.
No, I think he dropped out as well.
I
think he dropped out. Oh, no, he did. No, 1995 did. 1995. University of Pennsylvania.
Pretty sure some
college. He's got a bachelor's degree in physics and economics. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
University of Pennsylvania, went to Stanford for 1 year. Oh, he dropped out of Stanford University in 2 days to start his first company called Zip2. There you go.
Yeah.
So he went to some. He went to the University of Pennsylvania for 5 years. Went to Stanford for 2 days. Stanford for 2 days and dropped out.
2 days.
2 days.
So it just goes to show, like, you don't have
Co-founded
to.
X.com, which merged with PayPal. Fuck you. So,
You don't like that whole adage going through high school, or the mantra that you were told.
Yeah.
Get to college, get to college, get to college.
Why?
It's not for everybody.
No, go to college for a specialty if you want to learn a trade or any specialty.
Sure, go to your
You
go
don't
to your
need
tech college or community college. You can learn
you don't need
you can
20
learn a
years of
trade.
English literature.
Right. We'll learn
I never went to
welding
college.
or HVAC or something. Anyway, I don't know. About a hour and 10.
Yeah, but finally, COVID is ending. Joe Biden's being hailed as the savior. He is his policies are responsible. This is what you're going to hear over the next few weeks. You're going to hear as state by state starts canceling all their mandates. You are going to start to hear Joe Biden's responsible for ending the pandemic, especially on March 1st when he does his State of the Union address. We beat the virus. We beat the virus, and this is going to be drilled in your head and gaslit you to no freaking end.
You're calling it? He will use the term, we beat the virus.
Beat the virus. We beat the virus. He will use it.
All right.
We beat the virus. Ladies and gentlemen, America or whatever, we beat the virus. That's what's going to happen. And he's trying to hold out to them so he can make his little grandstanding speech.
Mm-hmm.
But already, Joaquin Jeffries, he already came out and said, thanks to Joe Biden and his policies, we're able to lift restrictions. Science ain't changed. The politics, the political science has changed. The, oh, fuck, we're polling like shit has changed. We better do something quick because we have the worst poll numbers in 40 years. I think it says 1982 or something like that, or that's inflation. I don't know. It's horrible. But some really shitty internal polling numbers came out for them to start doing this, to start jumping on the natural immunity bandwagon and the the shot this and the shot, you still, I mean, $36 billion is what Pfizer made off of the vaccine this last year. Just the vaccine. I wouldn't want to see it end either. I'd want to keep, they were talking about kids, 5 shots now, but now Lena Wen is saying, I don't know if my child should get vaccinated or not, because we should just wait and see what happens. But 2 months ago, she was like, I can't wait to get my kids vaccinated. CNN contributor, nurse lady, CNN, full of shit, condescending bitch. But I'll tell you how I really feel about her someday. I hated her since the first moment I heard her. I'm like, who is that condescending bitch? Can somebody please send her to voice lessons? God, it's almost as bad as like AOC. Like Jen Psaki. Like, circle back, like. She says one more freaking time. You're the spokesperson for the president of the United States, and you say So anyway, over the next week, look for Joe Biden and everybody to start praising the old hail Joe Biden, king of COVID, whatever. Mark my word, he's going to take credit for it. It's all gaslighting. It's not true. Nothing's changed. Same old thing. It's just the politics have changed. Their polling sucks. They know they're going to get their ass handed to them in the midterms. But anyone you can run for office, run. Change some of the school board crap. Do something. Make a difference. And for God's sake, take the mask off your children, especially if you're not wearing one. I swear to God.
I can agree with that.
Especially if they have that little wet snot part around their nose because their nose is running and the mask is wet.
If you're going to make them wear one, at least clean the damn thing.
Yes.
At a minimum.
We know
Please.
kids are little disease mongers and they spread colds and everything all over the place. But this isn't helping. The mask thing is not helping, especially when you're walking around with your wife and then your kids next to you are fully masked and you're not.
Yep.
It looks more like child abuse than anything else. My 2 cents.
All right.
Anyway, I'm Dave Fricky.
Dave Glonia.
And we don't even know who the hell we are, but we're slowly figuring out our identities. So this has been episode number 3 in the books. Stay tuned next week for episode number 4. We'll try to have this one uploaded at a reasonable hour. So if you're seeing this, that means it's kind of hopefully was uploaded at a reasonable hour.
Hopefully.
Working on some new technology that we're going to be able to do this live, and we'll actually have guest speakers come in too. So hopefully that comes up in the next few weeks, and it'll be really cool. And then I'll be able to see what he's showing you too.
Yeah.
And I know because I have no idea what he's showing you. And he could be showing you like, laugh at this guy. It could be like, oh, look at his bald spot. But anyway, everybody,
cool.
Take care. Don't fall for the liberal bullshit, and have a good week.
Have a good week, everyone. Peace.